How about rules for radical conservatives? Good morning. It's Friday, June the 12th, and this is The Drill. Thank you very much. I'm Ron, your host and the only true conservative in the United States today. I created this podcast to answer the question most asked by conservatives, namely, what can I do? My podcast is short, approximately 5 to 10 minutes long, because shorter podcasts are easier to download and listen to. I've been listening to conservative talk radio since 1989, and I grew up in a socialist household, and I've learned all the tricks of socialism. My podcast is made available through Spreaker and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. Today, what can I do? Quote of the day, and Saul Alinsky turned on his head. All that when I come back. Thank you. What can I do? Contact your representatives at all levels of government and tell them that any legislation or proposed ordinances to reform the police department must include the following: screening out racists in the application process, repeal of all laws or ordinances designed to shield police officers from being prosecuted, and finally, the decertification of all police unions. Any ordinance or legislation that fails to include those three items will achieve nothing. Next up, quote of the day. Thank you. The quote of the day is from a Middle Eastern philosopher named Rumi. Quote, "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I want to change myself." Unquote. Up next, rules for radical conservatives. Thank you. Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky starts with the premise that the only people, radicals, that will be interested in his book will be left-wing radicals, when in fact that's not true. Yes, true conservatives make the presumption for the status quo, but when there's an obvious case for change, conservatives can be and are moved. That being the case, true conservatives would do well to read, know, and understand rules for radicals so they can have more tools in their workshop. For instance, rule number 1, quote, "Power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have," unquote. The essence of Alinsky's first rule is that if you do not have the numbers or any real power, you can organize in such a way that you appear to have more power than you do. Normally, we would think about left-wing actions such as marches and Occupy Wall Street when we read that. But why not use the same tactic where it comes to eliminating abortion, promoting religious liberty, promoting the Second Amendment, or even promoting law and order? Think about it. Back in a minute. Who is the true conservative? He's the person that has the courage of his convictions and is confident in what he knows. He's the person that understands that cultural conservatism is more important than political conservatism. He's not selfish, but minds his own business. He acts like an adult. He is patriotic and uses common sense. He expresses what he knows and does so with certainty. He makes judgments, refuses to speculate, speaks clearly and definitively, and is not afraid to say no. He's open-minded, asking why rather than why not. He's consistent, credible, and influential, not ashamed of his existence, unafraid to learn or correct his mistakes. He's a normal American, and he's better than the socialist. He's a better friend, father, brother, family member, and a better person, period. You have to know that. If you don't know with every fiber of your being that being a true conservative is best, then you're just wasting your time. And that brings me to the end of another episode of The Drill. Remember, be honest, be smart, and be beautiful. And always ask yourself, what is real? How do I know? What do I do about it? I'm Ron, and that's The Drill.